Today I want to cover the top 10 mistakes people are still making that is really letting them down when they're playing Apex Legends. You could be on this list, and honestly, half of these are such an easy fix and just require a bit of time. You put in the effort and I'm sure you'll see the results. The first thing I want to start with is pretty simple, and it's just adjusting your settings to make sure they're right for you. I see so many people using their favorite YouTubers settings because they think, oh, if they can drop a 20 bomb, I can drop a 20 bomb too. All I need is his settings. That's not the case. Everyone has a different preference. Honestly, you need to figure out whether you prefer ALCs or the standard settings and adjust them based on how you feel everything plays and what you prefer in general. You might prefer a slower sensitivity, or you might prefer something a little faster. Either way, you need to spend time in the firing range figuring this out and find what works best for you. My next tip for you guys is to warm up in the firing range and practice your aim. Aim lets a lot of people down in Apex, but honestly it can be fixed with some simple aim drills or just spending 10-15 minutes in the firing range a day or before you play Apex. Honestly, if you're gonna hop on, make sure you spend some time to play in the firing range, practice some aim courses, shoot at the targets. If you're on PC, you do have the benefit of using aim labs, but on console, we really need to use the firing range to practice our aim. Make sure you get to grips with the recoil patterns of all your favorite weapons, how to control them with different attachments, and I'm sure you will be beaming people from across the map within no time. My third tip, as this is pretty crucial in Apex, if you haven't come from Titanfall, movement is absolutely huge in Apex, and if your movement isn't up to par, it can really let you down during gunfights. If you haven't seen it already, I do have an ultimate movement guide on controller, which I will put on the screen now. Check this out if you really want to improve your movement and get better at Apex movement. It's absolutely huge within the game. You need to be good at it, you need to work on it, and practicing again in the firing range, getting to grips with different movement techniques can really save you in a fight and really help you out getting to the high spots or rotating around the map a lot faster. Next on the list is something I see people not doing in lower skilled ranks, and this is not knowing when to back out of fights. A lot of the time I see people maybe doing 100 damage or hearing third party and charging at teams on their own. You're at much more of a disadvantage pushing a whole squad on your own. You're probably going to get 3 people beaming you because you're just singled out away from your squad. You're not only leaving your team behind, but you're charging a team who's probably just going to immediately take you out and then send you back to the lobby and you'll be raging. Honestly, know when to back out of fights if teams are coming to third party you, know when to back out of fights if you've only dealt a bit of damage, take it a little slower, think about everything you're doing, of course, don't just run in attempting to get all the kills because you saw your favourite YouTuber do it. Another important thing you need to learn, and this is of course a pretty simple one, but it's something I still see people not doing again in the low ranks, and that's learning to strafe while you're shooting your bullets. A lot of people just seem to wiggle their movement around a little bit, but you really need to be taking this to the extremes, especially at longer ranges. At longer ranges, if you're just wiggling your stick, you're barely moving on your opponent's screen. Make sure you take this to the extremes. Again, practice it in the firing range if it's something you're not comfortable with. Practice it with close range engagements, practice it at long range, and just knowing that at different ranges you're going to need a different amount of strafe is super important. Rather than just wiggling your stick left and right hopelessly, try create random patterns, maybe adding some crouch spam in there, but not getting too overboard with that, as I have seen things to disprove that you're actually making it easier for enemies to shoot you in the head because their aim, it probably isn't your head and it's more at your body, so by you crouching they're just getting immediate headshots on you. Again, just give it a practice and know when to use it and when to not use it. That's the important part. Apex is super fast paced, and I still see people charging their shields up after a fight because they might have leveled it an Evo shield and maybe got a blue shield or a purple shield, and they don't want to drop that. Honestly, forget about it, do an armor swap and have full health. Just in case anyone is coming around that corner, a squad might have heard you fighting and want to push you. If you have no shields, they're going to take you down a lot quicker than even if you just have a white shield. Honestly, having some shields is better than none. If you have the time, maybe go back and pick up that shield and then heal it if you know the area is safe. Building on from armor swaps, something I see people do a lot is more often than not they're playing loot simulator. They're spending the whole game looting, or a fight's gone on and they're just looting boxes one after another. Honestly, at a certain point you don't really even need much more loot, and I'm sure you can get by with the weapons that you have. Stop spending so long looting and getting caught out, because if someone's heard the gunshots, they're probably coming to third party. There's someone who's probably kill grinding, someone who wants some extra KP, whatever it might be. You're spending time just sat there looting so they can get over it and get some easy kills because you're stationary in a box. On controller, we can't actually move while looting unless you do jump just before you open the box, which I do cover in my movement guide as I mentioned, but please stop looting so long and just going around the map for loot. Think about what you're doing, think about how much time you're spending places and how many people might be coming to attack you. Something you need to understand in Apex is how your legend works or how a team composition might be affected by the legend you choose, particularly in ranked. Now, it's super important that if you have a main or a legend you enjoy playing, you learn that legend inside out. You learn when to use their abilities and how to get in and out of certain situations, how those abilities are really going to help you and your team. After all, it's a team game and every legend can complement each other, which is why in ranked, if you're the last to pick, you really need to think about the legend you're choosing. If you've already got 2 movement legends on your team, you have a Wraith and an Octane, don't then pick another movement legend, pick someone who can help you out like Gibraltar or even Lifeline. You need a defensive legend, a recon legend, whatever it might be. It'll help balance out the team and give you a wider range of abilities that will really help propel you within the gunfights. The next mistake I see people making is reviving too early or immediately going for a revive as soon as their teammate goes down. Honestly, sometimes you need to leave your teammates behind or just not even bother with the revive. Wait until it's safe unless you have a legend that can get the easy revive like Lifeline or Gibraltar. Make sure it's safe, make sure the team's first cleared out before going for a revive. If you go for that revive and you don't have a legend like Lifeline or Gibraltar to really help and speed that up, you're going to get caught out, they're going to get an easy down, and then it's a 1v3 situation. In ranked, I've done it plenty of times where my teammates ran in, gone down, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't want to face 3 people, I'm not on max RP yet, and I can't be taking that risk to go and revive them because of a silly mistake. You need to play selfishly sometimes, and it will reward you. Now, my last tip here is absolutely huge, and honestly, it'll really affect you, and I know it happens to all of us. Stop playing Apex when you are angry. If you've had a series of bad games and it's really affecting your mood, please stop playing. It will make you play worse, your aim will be off, you won't be thinking right, and it'll just lead to more and more bad games. Turn the game off for a little bit, have a break, play something else, just enjoy a different game or some time out and come back to it when you feel a bit more refreshed and ready. It'll make a world of difference, and honestly, you need to stop doing it. If you want to know some more Apex tips or want to learn your legends a little bit more, I have plenty more Apex Legend guide videos on my channel. If this has helped you, please do let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.